And welcome everybody to another episode of the Investor Guys podcast. How you doing there, Bill?
I'm doing wonderful. As you can see, the ocean views in Fort Worth, Texas are still in great shape. It's a beautiful day today.
Beautiful day at the ocean in Fort Worth. Looks great. And you know what? Nice bright yellow shirt. You're looking spiffy today.
Thank you, sir. You are business attire as always in your tie.
Yeah, it's too warm for a jacket. I had a jacket on a little bit ago, and it's just I cranked up the AC, but it hasn't gotten there yet. So if I put the jacket on, I'll be drenched by the time I'm done with the show. So what did you want to talk about today?
You know, either the last episode or one or two before that, we've been talking about things like we talked about manufactured housing, we talked about trailer parks, but we said during the course of that, hey, you know, we need to spend some time talking about either doing a car wash or a laundromat, and pretty much they're the same thing. But I do not own a car wash. I want to make that disclosure right now. I have several friends that do. I have a friend that just sold his company that he had 14 car washes and sold it for a really surprising amount to a public company. And so he's grinning from ear to ear and cussing under his breath at the same time, because part of the sale was that he had to remain for 3 years with the company for full transition and everything, and integrating his assets into the corporate assets. And he goes, I'm not used to having to be somewhere when at a certain time and not necessarily wanting to be there then. And I'm like, yeah. Why in the world would you agree to that? Well, we all know why. He got a very significant check to agree with that. And, you know, they're paying him very nicely for the 3 years. But he's like, man, I had forgotten how it is to be an employee and that I am not cut out to be an employee. I'm like, I understand that. I am gainfully unemployable.
Yeah, I have friends who have actually I have friends and clients as well who have car washes. I have a client who he's a doctor. It's funny because he's a doctor and he's a very well-known surgeon in Orange County. And his primary focus, and he's done some other things, but his primary focus has been coin car washes. He has a bunch of them literally all over the country. He started off in Southern California, and he has car washes in Texas. He has car washes here in Florida. He has them pretty much in warm states, which I absolutely get. Although I have friends in Ohio that have coin car washes, and they're open year round. Which is great because when you're in a place like Ohio or New York, where you've got the snow and the slush and everything on your car, a lot of times you want to drive it through and get all that stuff off because that starts eating the metal of your car. Everybody I know who has, in fact, I've been saying I want a coin. I need to get on it. Everybody I know loves having the car washes. And I say coin car washes. Typically what the setups are for the people who I know is they've got a number of bays, 5, 6, 7, 8, even 10 bays sometimes. Most of those bays are dedicated to just, you've all seen them. It's the little machine where you put the quarters in it. Usually it's about $4 to get started, and you got to keep feeding the machine in order to keep it going. You power wash your car, rinse it. They've got wax and everything else in there. Some of the other ones, though, actually have a dedicated bay, usually in the middle or on one end or the other, that's automated.
The deal was it was the drive-through, or you drive into it and stop, and then the machine washes your car and stops and tells you it's time to go.
Yep.
That's the deal that they had. And one of the things that he did that was different than other people I've seen do that is he would typically have one person basically there babysitting through the course of the day. Now it's a 24/7 deal, but he would have an employee there during the day. And so it's a great business. But what you have to think about is, what does the business really mean? And you have to look at what the business is really about. Yes, it's about washing cars, keeping people's cars clean, and bringing in money. Literally, they had the dollar, you feed the dollars into the machine like most places do now. And so, yes, it's about that. But the value and what he was able to sell was the fact that he had a whole bunch of real estate. When you look at, many of you know that I spent years at Merrill Lynch, spent about a decade in the financial services industry, got started at Merrill Lynch, and then ended up going off and joining a private, which I was a partner of, private equity firm that did mezzanine financing mainly. But it's always about what's the value. When I was at Merrill, one of the things we did, this would have been in the mid 80s, Burger King came to us and said, hey, we need a whole bunch of money. We need $600 million, $500 million. They needed a boatload of cash. And we need you guys to raise it for us. And how they got it was they had all of this real estate. And so we put together a trust that went out and took the real estate over and sold. We basically sold it. Burger King sold it to the trust. And so they got the money. The trust turned around and released all of these locations right back to Burger King. And it was a massive, massive undertaking. And it was several $100 million. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was a boatload of money. The value was real estate. That's the thing that unless you're online where the value is your customer, most of the value in a brick and mortar business of any kind is going to be the real estate. Now, whether it's the building or the building and the land, it's the real estate. And when we're looking at car washes, this is what turns out to be the value. Every one of you have seen places where there was an old gas station, there was an old restaurant, there was an old car wash, there was an old something. Maybe it was still functioning, maybe it wasn't, that was there for years and business grew up around it. And suddenly this is incredibly valuable and people sell that and they sell it for a high dollar amount and somebody comes in and puts something different on there and creates highest and best use for that particular location. So we are way past.
We're on a break. Yeah, we'll be back in just a second and more on car washes on today's Investor Guys podcast. 11 months out of the year, Bill and I host real estate buyers events in cities like Cleveland, Ohio, where we ourselves invest and see great returns. We show investors the types of strategies we're using, the types of properties we're using. We introduce them to people here on the ground and the resources that they can use to get started right away. Day 4 of this event, we're actually touring properties and making offers on properties. This event was designed to put properties in your portfolio right away, high-performing properties. Read more about the Real Estate Buyers event. Get registered. We'll see you at the next event. realestatebuyersevent.com. A lot of real estate training programs claim that they will make you a millionaire, but how many of them will guarantee it? The Millionaire Blueprint comes with a millionaire guarantee. I guarantee that if you use the strategies and you use the formulas that you learn in the Millionaire Blueprint, you will be a millionaire. I guarantee that with a double your money back guarantee. Whether you have hundreds of thousands of dollars to invest or absolutely nothing, it doesn't matter. I'm going to show you how to start investing and be a millionaire guaranteed. Now, I can't tell you all about it in this short amount of time, so go to the guaranteedmillionaireblueprint.com. That's the guaranteedmillionaireblueprint.com. Watch the videos there. Read about the guarantee. Read more about what we offer with the Millionaire Blueprint. Get signed up. I'll see you in Palm Beach. We're back, and today we are talking about car washes. Another great thing about car washes, one of the many great things about car washes is, first of all, if you're building a car wash, there's really nothing to it. It's concrete block and usually a steel roof, with steel supports. Your equipment, you've got some costs there, but it's not crazy expensive equipment. You typically have one room. Usually it's in the middle of what you've built, and it's got a compressor in there. Typically, it's got an air compressor for some of the other stuff that's in there. Pumps, it's where you keep all of your soap and wax and everything else that goes through. Basically, it's a highway of tubes that go to the various different bays. Very, very inexpensive to build, very inexpensive to get started. There's really nothing to it. You're not doing any heavy foundation work or anything else. You're not putting in bathrooms. You're not putting in all the things that cost lots of money when you're building other types of buildings. The thing I love most about coin car washes, I'm going to call them coin car washes, is the cash that comes in. There is an unbelievable amount of cash. And Bill is talking about the value of the property, but we're talking about a property that will cash flow for you easily 50% or better. Now, I'm just going to put this out there, but I'm not going to say you should do this or anything else. One thing to consider when it comes tax time is you've got lots and lots of cash coming in. So you've got coins that go into your machine. Those coins come out. So you've got somebody who comes there, they take those coins out, they put them back into the change machine, and they take the dollars, the actual cash dollars out, and they count those up. Now, you can decide however you want on your taxes to deal with that, but you're dealing with lots and lots and lots of cash. Now, all of you, if you go to one of these coin laundries, you've seen the newer machines. Some of the newer machines actually have the thing for a debit card. They have a debit card, credit card reader, and you can use that. What I have seen my friends do is literally they only put one or two of those machines into the bays because they still want those cash machines that are there, that are taking those quarters or tokens, whatever it is that they're putting in there. It's usually a mix that comes out. Even if you take tokens, usually there's quarters and tokens that are coming out when they come back to feed the machine. The cost to run it. Now Bill's friend is putting somebody there. That's a lot more expensive. Most of the places that you go to aren't going to have an employee there. Okay. The cost to run it is essentially your insurance, your taxes, your maintenance costs, and your expendables. Your expendables in this case are water's covered under utilities. So all the soaps, all the waxes, all the rinses, all the tire and engine foam and everything else, which you're going to replace typically every couple of weeks or every month, depending upon how your facility is set up, how much you can actually manage to put in there at one time. And there are companies that provide those services to you. They will actually bring a truck with all of that stuff in there. They will take it, they'll load it all up, they'll get it all set up, and it's just on a contract that they do every single week. They go there and they service your car wash with all of the chemicals that you need.
One of those things you need to be cognizant of if you have any interest in the car wash industry is you got to check with local regulation to see what the water recycling is. That's probably the biggest pain in the rump in that particular industry is what they have to do with and to the water. And it varies from county to county, not going to get into that. But if you're interested, you need to check that out as to what you can do there. Now, one of the things that we talked about earlier was, and when I say earlier, in an earlier episode, was the fact that there's a guy here in town in the Dallas-Fort Worth area who is stupid rich. So he has built well over 100 of the car washes around the Metroplex, of the quarter car washes, and he will go in and buy the land, build the building, and then he turns around and sells the car wash, which does not include the land. He is selling the business, and that's probably an entire show of doing seller financing on business, where we can go in and buy this. This is terrific for you. See this in the restaurant industry all the time. You see it in the car wash. You see it in the dry cleaning industry. A lot. You see this in any kind of automotive repair where somebody will go in and build a business. My former father-in-law got extremely wealthy. He was a surgical ophthalmologist, did trauma surgery. So he made good money. But what he did with his money was very fascinating to me. He got into opening small banks, one-off banks. And over a 3 to 5 year period, he lived in a small town. He would build up the clientele for that bank. And he had easy building the clientele because he was a doctor in town. Everybody liked him and respected him. And so it was easy for him to build up business for the bank. And then, of course, what did he do? He would sell it. He'd have a non-compete, typically 3 years, sometimes 5, depending on who he sold to. He would have a non-compete, and then he'd go in and he'd do it again. Well, he did that 4 or 5 times in the course of his life and did incredibly well financially. So when you're looking at all these different businesses out there, and car washes are perfect for that, there's a couple of different ways to do it. You can own the car wash and operate the car wash, where you own everything. You can turn around and find somebody like the guy here in Dallas, where I'm sure this guy's repeated all over the country. You can find somebody that will go in and build the facility. You pay a down payment and you're buying the business. You're not buying the dirt. So you may be able to buy the equipment as in a dry cleaning facility where you could actually, over the life of your purchase agreement, you would now own the equipment. In that scenario, typically one of the deals is you cannot move from the location and you cannot move the equipment out of the location until it's paid off, until there's a set amount of time. Usually it might be 10 years or so before you can do that. But there's some incredible real estate opportunities when you start looking at this. Now we're on break. We'll come back. We'll talk some more about some of these hidden real estate opportunities that we see out in the business world.
We'll see you in a minute. Once a month, with the exception of December, Bill and I go to markets where we have experience and we host a real estate buyers event. These are markets that have great return potential for your real estate portfolio. We're going to show you the properties that we buy. We're going to show you where to buy, where not to buy, the strategies to use to make great income from these properties. We're also going to show you resources and individuals here on the ground that you can use to start building your team so that you can repeat this process over and over. The real estate buyers events are designed to put high-performing properties in your portfolio right away. If you're interested in hearing more about the Real Estate Buyers Event, realestatebuyersevent.com. That's realestatebuyersevent.com. Read more about the events, check out the schedule, and register. We'll see you there. My name's Kevin Mills. I have a real estate training program that is so powerful, I will back it up with a double your money back guarantee that it will make you a millionaire. That's right. Double your money back guarantee that you will be a millionaire if you use what you learn in the Millionaire Blueprint. I call it the Guaranteed Millionaire Blueprint, and you can read more about it and watch more videos at guaranteedmillionaireblueprint.com. That's guaranteedmillionaireblueprint.com. Check it out. All the information is there.
Okay.
All right, and we are back, and we're wrapping up our show on car washes, coin car washes, and there's just a lot of different things to wrap your head around here, but we're talking about a lot of cash that's coming in. We're talking about a good cash flow, and like anything else, we're talking location. Your coin car wash is going to do better next to a location like, say, Home Depot or a Lowe's or near a McDonald's or something like that, versus being way off out on a country road all by itself. So keep those things in mind when you're looking at what you're going to do. And I need to make sure that wasn't my phone. Sorry. And again, location. we're talking about very, very simple setup. I have actually seen, even like in Riverside, California, other places where there are car washes that for some reason are closed down. They were, I don't know what the reason was, but no reason for someone not to look into purchasing that property. You've got the bays built already. You probably have to put all new equipment and everything else, but you've saved a couple of steps, and you probably have still some customers in that area who would be happy to come back to that car wash. Where I am in Palm Beach, I wish. Actually, the car washes are over in West Palm Beach, but I wish there were some spaces here. We have lots of those car washes that are the hand car washes, and they literally have lines every single day because here in Florida, we have rain every other day. So people are getting their car washed literally every day. I have looked and looked and looked for a good location that has an empty lot or something, because it would be perfect to do a coin car wash. The closest coin car wash, even to West Palm Beach, is probably 20 minutes to a half an hour away, like up in Riviera Beach, or perhaps someplace, further south. So if you find a place like West Palm Beach, for example, that is in need, if you can find the right location, you're actually piggybacking on a demand that's already there that you can actually see. People are spending $30 to have their car washed for a hand car wash. They're definitely going to spend $5 or $10 if they can do it themselves. A lot of people would prefer to do it themselves because they feel like they've done it better than if they take it to the hand car wash where somebody else is doing it. It's not their car. They're just, running the mop over top of the car and they're done with it. So keep your eyes out for opportunities. And here's the thing. It's not just car washes, and it's not just single family houses, and it's not just this. You are in the real estate game. Whenever you see something, let your brain do the math. Say, what would be good here? Would this be good for an infill lot? Would this be good for a commercial this? Would this be good for a car wash? Would this be good for a coin laundry, which we'll do on a different show? Let your brain do those calculations and figure it out, because an opportunity is an opportunity is an opportunity. And if you miss that opportunity, somebody else is going to take it. And you're going to drive by that lot in a year or two, and you're going to say, you know what? I had that idea and I should have done something about it. And you didn't, and you lost that opportunity. So don't let those opportunities slip past you. If you're not able to take advantage of those opportunities, start teaming up with people that will allow you to be able to take control of those opportunities. Now, one last thought that I had, a lot of people are like, you know what? I just don't want to manage a car wash. I just don't want to have to do that. I just don't want to have to manage a coin laundry. I don't want to have to pay somebody to do that. You don't have the time to be there. It's not the best use of your time. If you are a real estate investor, the best use of your time is finding more real estate deals, not sitting at a car wash, not driving by the car wash every night to take the money out. Find somebody, pay them to do that, and you're going to be more profitable because you're still able to continue to be a real estate investor. And that goes for anything that you do. Apartments. I know so many people, they think they have to cut the corners, and they think they have to manage the property themselves in order to make any money. And you're going to make more money, and you're going to be a lot happier if you have a manager. Bill can tell you the same thing when you're doing rehabs. If you've got somebody you can trust to be a project manager who can be out there checking on the different projects that you're doing versus you having to get in the car and bounce around to the different projects, you're going to be a lot happier and you're going to get a lot more done.
And I'm going to tell you something that there's not too many blanket statements you can make. I can make the blanket statement that every single piece of rental property that I have ever owned, I never managed, ever. I always had a property manager, a real estate agent, whatever, completely handling, so that I was dealing with one person that was dealing with multiple properties, and I wasn't having to expend my mental energy. One of the things that when we do private consultings, every now and then, I'll have somebody that will ask, it happens multiple times a year, how in the world do you think the way that you think? I don't know how to do that. And it's like, because you're thinking about this house, this multifamily property, as only what you see it as. One of the fun things about rehab is being able to have a vision as to what it could be. And then transitioning from this is what it is to this is what I think it could be. But the same thing happens with every single piece of real estate. So I try to teach consulting clients. I'm going to give you just a gold nugget here if you're listening, if you're paying attention. I don't think about real estate as that house or that building. It's dirt. It's the dirt. God quit making dirt a long time ago. He got out of the dirt business. Because of that, there has been an ever increasing through the history of mankind and every single day, an ever increasing amount of demand on an item that has a finite inventory. And so anytime I'm looking at that piece of dirt, I'm not looking at the house. I'm not looking at the building. The first thing I'm looking at is, hey, you know what? What's this location? That's always huge. And if I had to, and I just had the lot, what is it worth? What could be done with it? When you start evaluating that way, and look, a single family house on it, an apartment building on it, a business on it may absolutely be highest and best for that piece of dirt. But once you start looking at it in a bigger perspective, and you look at it as, okay, I understand that there's some land value here, some dirt value, then it makes it easier to recognize opportunities that a lot of other people just don't see. And it's the same thing like Kevin was talking about, where you drive by a spot and you go, man, I could have bought that. I could have turned that into whatever. And you see things all the time where, or you'll read about developments. You'll read about, I remember when Ross Perot and Ross Perot Jr. bought the land for up toward the Texas Motor Speedway, which at the time, when they opened that thing, felt like it was in Oklahoma. It was like, good Lord. And I live in Fort Worth, and it's like way out there. Well, now I go out there, and as I'm going, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're here already, because what's happened through the years, all that's filled in. And what they got soundly thrashed in the media, because they're so smart, the media, they got thrashed as why in the world with these guys, what a boondoggle. They bought all this land. They'll never get their money back out of it. And of course, they didn't get their money back out of it. They got multiple of their money back out of it. And then Junior built an airport out there, commercial airport. Everybody said the same thing. What in the world are you doing building a commercial airport way out there in the middle of nowhere? Because now there's about 9 major companies that their transportation center is Alliance Airport, guys. So take a look at, when you start thinking about the dirt first, then you start looking at what some opportunities I can do with the dirt. Where's this going to be in 5 years? Where's it going to be in 10 years? And you'll look at it differently. Again, it may be that the single family house, the apartment building, the car wash may be the highest and best use for that land as we sit here today, and maybe for the foreseeable future. But also think about, where's this going to be in 5, 10, 15 years? And you may start looking at it differently and see some opportunities that you didn't see otherwise. I know we're way over.
Yep.
Sorry.
And you and Roy Rogers said buy land because they're not making it anymore. So
there you go. There you go.
All right. Thank you for joining us. We are going to wrap up this show on coin car washes and opportunities, really. When I see real estate, I see opportunity. So consider what that opportunity is. Don't let it pass you up. Jump on it if it's a good deal and if the numbers work. And we will see you back here on Thursday. Happy investing.
Very good. Now, see you, everybody.